Hello, it's Jennifer Savari, and today I'll be sharing a couple of different projects that were made to be a matching birthday card with a tag. And these projects were made using the brand new layered border dies by Poppystamps. And these are stackable dies. They come in several varieties, and today I'm using the stars because they match a flamingo, and I thought that was so cute. Poppystamps has always had gorgeous tags. These are brand new tags as well, with a double stitch around the edge. And what makes these sets unique to the others is that a frame set is also available. And I've always used frames on my tags, but these dies make it super simple just to cut one out really quick. Now these are the layered star dies, and you can see on the right edges they will actually cut the paper. So this makes it a little tricky when you're cutting and you want the stars in the center of your project. I didn't want it to cut the side off, and so I had to turn it to a different orientation. And then I placed my top plate just in back of the edge so that it wouldn't cut that. Anything under that top plate will cut, anything not under it won't. So you can see here that it did not cut the side. Now I don't care about the bottom because the frame's going to hide everything there. So to line up for the underneath side, because we're using just kind of a partial die cut here, I just lined up, kind of got an idea where that was supposed to be, and then lined it up. Now I could have done the same orientation here where it didn't cut in half, but this side is going to be underneath the base layer, and the stars were not affected, so I just cut it straight through. And then I just started gluing all the layers together. And I'm actually using basil. It's called Candy Hearts. It's kind of a, not quite hot pink, but it's a bright pink. And I thought that would be fun for a birthday. So you can see here that cutting in that second layer isn't going to be shown at all. And then it's important to note throughout this entire process of the cards and this tag that when I glue the layers together, I was concentrating more on the stars lining up rather than the borders of whatever I cut. I can easily trim off the excess here and have those stars match up if I need to adjust it a little bit. Those frames are so wonderful because they will create the border that makes everything look professional. And I wouldn't have had to have put this frame on the back, but I just thought that a matching frame just really finished it off nicely. By the way, if anybody's wondering, my fingertips are not dirty. They're blue from bingo gone very wrong with the dauber last night. It went everywhere, so they're clean. They're just stained. So here I am just taking the fine flamingo, and I die cut a silver piece and a candy heart piece just to kind of create a little shadow there. That's going to go on the inside of the card. And then the musical happy birthday, I die cut 3 black ones and 1 candy heart, and I just stacked them all together. So there's actually 4 layers there that just make it nice and thick. The black underneath gives it a really crisp look. So the card base is going to be made from the same 3 colors as the tag. And I could have used craft foam, but instead I used Craft-A-Board to create the dimensional height for my shaker. So the next step was just to die cut the stars along the bottom of my card, which is, just very simple. The difference here is that it's a shaker card, so we need that extra dimension to raise the top layer up so that the sequins will fit in there. So I'm using 2 layers of this Craft-A-Board, and I ran it through the die cutter a few times, and notice how I switched that around so that it could have a different angle through the die cutter. That just worked really well and made a super clean cut. So you'll see here the 3 layers are cut identical with the big stars. Next I cut the silver piece out of the little stars and saved those negative spaces. So I'm using the rectangle basic set, and I'm using 2 sizes of the nesting set. The smaller size makes a smaller window on the outside of the card. We want a larger rectangle on the interior so that those edges aren't seen if somebody looks in through the side. So you can see me here, I cut the smaller one out of the white, and then I kind of traced just a little area so I could get an idea of where to center the larger rectangle. This will make sense if it doesn't in just a second. So remember, we've got 2 layers of that Craft-A-Board, So I needed to just line up the stars there. I'm not necessarily worried about lining up the edges of the paper. I want the stars lined up. And then I trace that rectangle and die cut it out that way. And what that creates is that creates the perfect window lined up with the stars. So we can trim off the edges, but it's kind of hard to trim off stars if they're not aligned right. So then I put on the acetate and I just used my tape runner there. But when I'm gluing these pieces together, notice how I did use glue around those stars just so that there was extra adhesion there. And I put it all under some weight to dry, and then I started in on the other base of the card. And I just used, again, the candy hearts as the base with the silver on top, glued that and put that under some weight as well. And here I am just trimming off that extra craft board from when I was lining up the stars. Okay, so I should have die cut that silver before I glued it onto the candy hearts on the back, because I wanted the candy hearts to show through, not the mirror. And so I just took a piece of candy hearts and glued it on. Next, I just glued on some little stars, some silver stars that would show through. And then I just made sure that the little happy birthday aligned well there. And when I liked that, I went ahead and glued it down. I shouldn't have glued it down yet. I should have put the frame around the window first, but it all worked out. I was able to catch the happy birthday before it was totally dry, lifted it up, put the frame down. And then I'm using some rose petal sequins from Birch Press Design. I kind of wanted a darker red for the interior there, so that's what I used. It does have a little bit of gold, but I kind of liked that against that silver. And then I just glued everything down and put it under weight to dry. And I did use glue here rather than a tape runner. And then I went ahead and just put the little flamingo in and then glued some more little stars into the interior of the card. I then attached it to the base, and then I decided for an extra touch to go over it with a shimmer pen. And this is a silver shimmer pen, and I just filled in the little stars and then went over the happy birthday. And I also did the stars on the tag and the back frame to the back of the tag. And I actually wrote happy birthday in a white gel pen, and my card and tag were done. I just love these star borders and all these border dies, but these stars are so versatile. I can see them Christmas, 4th of July, baby shower in pastels, so many different ways that this could be done. And so I hope you give this a try, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day, and I'll see you again soon.